عليه وسلم وإن خير الأمور عوازمها والشر محدثاتها كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال الله تعالى في كتابه المجيد يا أيها الذين آمنوا ادخلوا في الكافة ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين. Respected elders, brothers, sisters, youngsters, Allahumma balighna Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala witness the beautiful auspicious month, which is just a couple months away. Alhamdulillah. In addition to the beautiful month that I'm sure all of us are looking forward to, it feels like we were just out of Ramadan not too long ago. Now we get to look forward to this beautiful month, inshallah. Another thing that a lot of people are doing, Muslims and non-Muslims, getting ready for the, if you will, in the calendar year. 2025, it's almost here. And what a lot of people do during this time of the year, kind of end of December, we're getting ready for the new year, a lot of people tend to kind of take a look at how the current year went, and then they kind of start thinking of what they want to accomplish or do the following year that's coming, right? We call this New Year's resolution. Look at what we did this year. What went well? Didn't go well? What can I work on? How could I be better? All that type of stuff. And then we say, all right, next year, I want to do this. I want to do that. We set a resolution, if you will, and then we obviously do the same cycle and cycle again. And as Muslims, that's something that's good. It is very good, actually, to kind of take a healthy approach and done. How can we improve? How can we make the most out of the calendar year ahead? And obviously, how can we make the most out of Ramadan, everything in between? Some things that can help us do it better. And that's actually one of the topics that I want to share with you guys in the short time that we have. The topic that really isn't talked a lot about on this. In general, you really don't hear a lot of people talking about this, but as Muslims, it's something that's super important. Something that our pious scissors would literally use as building blocks in their daily lives. This is kind of a you build a foundation. The talk about was literally one of the foundations that the gems of our past instilled in their daily lives. And that's the topic of time management and productivity. Like I said, we don't really hear a lot of people talk about this, but as Muslims, if we become students of time management, productivity, all these ambitious goals that we have for next year, etc., these are all things that can be accomplished as long as we build the roots around being productive and having that fikr or that concern of our time. Now, I'm saying all this, talking about productivity, etc. Before we actually delve into this specific topic, we have to first establish the importance of time, right? We have values. So I want to break this short talk into a couple things, but before we get into the meat and the bones of this talk, which is productivity, it's very, very important for us to know the importance of time, right? When we value something, then we take it a little bit more serious, right? When we value something, then we take it a little bit more serious. So regarding the importance of time, and my goal here is to get everyone to understand the importance of time to the fun, which is how we keep active with our time, inshallah. So regarding the importance of time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so eloquently mentions the quintessence this surah is all about in the surah of Surah Asr, or what time management is all about. It's all in Surah Asr. Surely humanity is in loss. Except those who have faith, those who do good, those who urge each other to truth, urge others. Surah is an equation. right? We've all gone to school, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, if we remember that, right? This was essentially equation to win, right? What we're learning in this beautiful surah is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying as time is passing, we're losing. If we're playing a video game, we're losing. Unless we do this. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the equation to win. And to win, we have to what? Do good. Have courage, truth, and perseverance. That is the equation. And there's no one better who was the on this equation other than Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He took Surah Asr and lived by it. And he even in the various ahadith obviously kind of went even deeper into this beautiful surah. One of the ahadith that he mentions, not necessarily regarding the surah, but regarding how can we make the most out of this life that we have, something which is very commonly known before 5. And I want to briefly talk about that. So the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he gave advantage of 5 things before these 5 things happen. And it's all going to connect. Everything I'm saying, inshallah, is going to connect full circle. That's the goal. First thing, advantage of your youth before old age happens. Take advantage of your youth before old age. Number 2, your health before sickness. Take advantage of your health before your sickness. When we talked about New Year's, if you were to go to the gym or you're going to see it more packed than you've seen it before. And from a financial perspective, the gyms actually have the biggest traction because it's a brand new and people want to start the year off strong and take care of their health. So the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, take advantage of your health. Your health. We see it so many times. People have wealth. They either don't save it, they don't give, and when that wealth is taken away, what happens? Or I wish I had my job again so I could save better, etc. So he says to take advantage of your poverty, or take advantage of your free time before your busyness. This one hits. Take advantage of your free time before business. I learned as I got older that as we get older and more responsibilities come our ways, what happens? We get busier. Kids now in my home, I laugh at a time, maybe 6, 7 years ago, without kids, that I would say, man, I woke up at 11 a.m. 11 now life is literally like 9 a.m., for example, is sleeping in. If I wake up at 9, it's like, wow, I slept in. And I'm sure many of us can to be for the youngsters here, if 11 a.m. is considered, waking up really, really, really late, as Rasul says, take advantage of your time before your busyness, because as you get older, especially the youngsters, there will be a little bit more responsibilities up your plate. But advantage of free time have. And side note, even if you do have a variety of responsibilities, family, life, work, it's still do, and that's what I'm about how we can make the most out of the limited time that we have. But number 5, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he ends this beautiful something. All says, take advantage of your life before your passing. This literally encapsulates everything. Your pastor says that we are in loss unless we have faith, we do good things, we urge and persevere and guide people to the truth and persevere. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam lived through that, and he gave us these 5 pieces of advice. Number 5, ending with, obviously, take advantage of your life before your passing. Now that we briefly, or hopefully in somewhat level, understand, hey, this time that we have is very limited. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us to take advantage of it. It's very limited. How can we do that? How can we take advantage of the time that we have, given that the new literally a couple days away in this calendar year? We have all these various things that we want to do, whether it's our physical health, or it's our spiritual health, or it's our mental health. We gave a khutbah a couple weeks ago and we said we should also focus on our service toward people. This should be a goal that we should have next year, serving people with our ears, with our tongues, with our actions, or our financial goals that we want to make for ourselves next year. All the various elements of life that we want to focus on, it's all possible only if we can learn to, of course, get the acceptance of Allah, right? But then we can manage our time. So with the remaining 5 to 8 minutes that we have, now I want to briefly touch upon time management activity, because now we understand how important time is. B, we want to accomplish various things next year. Okay, now how can we break time management down, productivity down, try to make it happen? Because it's possible. So the definition of productivity, if you were to go on ChatGPT or Google it or read it in a book, definition for productivity is focus energy times time. That is the definition for productivity from a standard lens. Now, Muhammad Faris, he is a gem of our time, and this is the founder of a company, Productive Muslim, which his whole goal is to essentially allow Muslims to live a more productive life, right? Using psychology. He definition of it. He just adds a little sentence at the end. And what he says is productivity for a Muslim is times time a goal, maximizing reward in the hereafter. Focus times time times energy toward acting in the hereafter. So what is the goal? The beauty of Islam, whatever goals we have that we want to accomplish next year, whatever good things that we do with the right seem to, and if I'll give an example. You can say, hey, I want to go ahead and work out so I could look nice and impress people. That may not necessarily maximizing your reward for the hereafter. But how about you change your intention? I want to start going to take care of my body because it's a vessel that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me so that I could take the trust that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me of this. I want to take care of my body so I can be there for my friends, I can be there for my family, be there to serve my community, etc. Or I want to get a brand new job next year, or I want to increase in my job, promotion in my job, business, certification, go here, go increase professionally so I can earn more money, so I can then give, so I can then take my family from around. I in this now. So we notice how when we change our intention, then it actually follows through with this definition. Only as having to be more productive. We understand the importance of time. We understand why productivity is so important. Let's briefly talk about practical way that we can productivity to our lives, and then we can accomplish whatever it is that we want to accomplish next year, inshallah. Number one, just be a student management. Be a student time management. If you are in whatever field you're in, you're always going to try to find people who are expert at that. If you're a doctor, it might be good to reach out to a practicing physician, someone who's elite at their craft so you can learn from them. If you want to start a business, it might be a good idea to reach out to an entrepreneur, someone who's doing it. If you maybe it's great idea to reach out to a scholar. So similarly, being a student of time management is no different. Number one, we can learn to see the Prophet. He was the most person to ever step foot on earth. We can also ask other people. We notice and see people who are productive, are able to life and in between, and we want to do that. It's okay to ask for advice, ask for tips, etc. We can read, the book, as I mentioned, Muslim, great resource. Also, other psychological books that we can read as well that really delve into the topic of productivity. But being a student of time management isn't something that's going to happen. It's something that you have to say, hey, I want to learn more about this topic. I'm going to YouTube it. I'm going to Google it. I'm going to speak to people about it. I'm going to learn about the seerah. But it's something that I want to get better with. And it's kind of superpower. More able to get better at it and learn more about it. Another thing that we can do to be more productive Muslims is engage in what this barakah culture. Barakah culture. What do I mean by this? Well, one of the, you know what, for barakah culture, I want to share, as I was something in which they had a concept called a hyperbolic time chamber. Those of you know. A hyperbolic time chamber essentially is a chamber. If you were to go inside the chamber for one day, 24 hours, a random Tuesday, if you were to go inside that chamber, you would have or live, it would be as if you spent a year in this chamber. One day in Earth is equivalent to 1 year in this chamber. So in 1 week, you could literally do your hips, one this time chamber. Unfortunately, something like that does not exist in this dunya. So the best thing we have is something called barakah. That is, it can turn time into a lot more time. So ways we can have more barakah in our time, aka allowing is, for example, here's wake up early. Wake up early. And you hear non-Muslims say this all the time too. Start your day after Fajr, for example. This is what the Rasul do. Day after Fajr. And you even hear productive CEOs and all these people, high-achieving people in this dunya say this as well. That when you wake up early and start your day early, work, and you have another day around 11, 12 p.m., right? You can literally get so much more out of your time. If you haven't tried it, try it. Wake up after Fajr, anyways, yeah, and just try to do something. And you will literally, and if you have to drink coffee, drink coffee. You will literally see how much you can get done in those 2, 3 hours. This bucket, right? You can, this is big. This is big. One of my teachers once said, if you want to have more time in your day, if you want to accomplish more things, then read Quran. For early, then to read Quran using 30 minutes. But Islamically, and ask anyone who's tried it, and if you've tried it, you can attest to this, that you investing, even if it's for 20, 30 minutes, you will literally see yourself getting more time back in the day. You'll be able to do more things you think you'd be able to. That's of barakah. Lastly, one other thing you can do as a last takeaway is you can get it out of your mind using a planner. That's one we have to do, especially as we get older. Getting a planner so we can get out of our mind and write it down is another of Muslims. Recap in the beginning and go full circle and end off with some closing advice. Number one, we established or talked about how the New Year's is coming. People, we should make Ramadan is big. Allahumma ballighna Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to witness the Ramadan coming up. We should all make goals for this before Ramadan. We want to be productive Muslims. But before we become productive Muslims, we have to value time. So in the beginning, we talked about Surah Asr and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says we're unless we do what? We urge each other to truth. We urge each other to perseverance. We have faith and we do good actions. Right? No one was better than the Prophet Muhammad. And in his hadith, he mentioned take advantage of 5 things before 5 things, ending off with number 5, the most important of them all, advantage life before passing. Take advantage of your life before your passing. So for us to really do that to its due service, we have to make the most out of the limited time we have. To do that, productive. And we'll have 3 pieces of advice productive. Number 1, you can be a student of productivity. Number 2, you can engage in barakah culture. Number 3, you can invest in a planner. You can ask people for advice, etc. But all of this can only take you so far. All of this can take you so far. Everything I said, you can go all in, as many people do in January when these new gyms open up. And then what happens? It falls down. It falls off. One falls off. To really reap the fruits of productivity, to really reap the fruits of time management, the last piece of this puzzle, and we'll end off with this, is أَحَبُّ الْأَعْمَالِ إِلَى اللَّهِ أَدَوَمُهَا وَإِنْ قَلَّ. The Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in a hadith, the most beloved actions to Allah are the consistent ones, even if little in quantity. We have to be consistent. It doesn't mean going to the gym every single day, 7 days a week. No, maybe it means twice a week. Do it more than the month. It doesn't mean reading the entire Quran over a period of 7 days, but you only last 2 days and you get 2, 3 juz done. No, it means, hey, maybe it means 1 page a day so you can finish in a year, etc. Consistency. That is the major takeaway from this short talk, is being consistent. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to truly understand the importance of time. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to truly allow us to take heed of the steps that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, particularly of taking advantage of our life before passing. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to become students of productivity, students of time management, and really invest in this. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on our quest for ihsan to allow us to be consistent in all that we do. أستغفر لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين أما بعد فيا معشر المسلمين الرحمن الرحيم قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد بعدد من صلى وصام اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد بعدد من قعد وقام اللهم صل على جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين الصحابة والتابعين وعلى عبادك الصالحين عباد الله رحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن البغي والمنكر يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله يذكركم ودعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله تعالى أعلى وأولى وأتم وأهم وأكبر وأقيم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين اعبدوا إياك نستعين صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين